What's up, everybody? You know what it is. What do I always say? BroBro.com in the house. You know what it is.
Bro, talk here. You feel me? Life
BroBro
with the
talk.
green in the building, man. It's been a while. Like
It's
my boy
been a while.
Stanley would say, it's been a while.
It's been a while. We're here. We're gonna start doing these little 20-minute weekly updates with y'all. Checking with our audience. We want to be active. We want to be active with our audience. So, we're gonna just have a couple topics, and then we're always gonna do a mental health check. I'll talk about my mental health. Dre will talk about his mental health. And I think what we want to do is we want to get our viewers involved. So if people want to comment, send in messages, eventually it'd be cool to like have a phone line and have people call in. What do you think about that?
I think that'd be a dope idea as well, man.
Yeah. Well, so first things first, in bigger news right now, we want to talk about this RICO case that's been charged against YSL, Young Thug, and Gunna. And 28 people were indicted into this case in Georgia. Dre, what were your initial first thoughts and reactions?
Man, I mean, I was slight surprised, but I understand the life that a lot of people live coming from the inner city myself, man. No matter how big, you get on the stage or a platform, it's an old ad lib or cliche to say you can take somebody out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of somebody. And I mean, I think these guys have definitely are iconic, reached some pillars, like they say Muhammad Ali was the people's champ. I heard people say, like Young Thug for this generation is one of the most iconic, rappers out, and just his style, his swag, his, everything about him. And even Gunna now has reached a point too where I am slight surprised because I feel like these guys, they're my age. So, we talking about dudes 26, 28, 30. And I thought wisdom would hit them to be somebody like for the South, like a Yo Gotti and a T.I. I'm just talking for the South, but obviously Jay-Z up in the East Coast, and bigger people have these mentors above them that, young Jeezy could be a mentor, Gucci even could be a mentor to be like, hey man, y'all still rocking with, the streets like that, man, or in situations where they shouldn't even be because they got plenty of money in the legitimate world and doing music and building labels as of YSL and creating other forms of business that it's just like, but I mean, it's hard to take somebody out of that lifestyle that kind of created them to get to that platform. But I was just, yeah, man, I'm taking back. I hope somehow, I don't know, I don't know all the facts because I learned about this recently the last couple of days and I didn't really even get into the articles like that. But I mean, we're talking about at least 56 counts of racketeering charges, some murder cases involved in there. And so it's a lot of stuff that unwind and peel back within these next couple of weeks. And we'll see. I mean, I guess having, all that money, you should be able to get some good lawyers, bro. So we'll see what these guys, what's going to happen to them. What you think about it?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I think that I mean, Gunna and Young Thug are obviously the two names that pop out to everybody. And,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know how involved Gunna and Young Thug really were. I think that in that business, you have a lot of people. I mean, Young Thug and Gunna, I wouldn't be surprised if they really didn't know what was going on behind their backs because in that business, you always got people that are you're close to who are working for you. You got and there's I think that a lot of things that go on in I mean, how can Young Thug and Gunna keep up with all that when they got, like you said, legitimate money to make? They're doing shows. They got, I mean, those aren't like that lifestyle that they're living is pretty busy already to be running a
Mm-hmm.
whole criminal organized crime unit on the side doesn't really seem likely to me. So I think that it's a for the Georgia DA. I think it's more like we're trying to shock everybody in Georgia. I also heard the DA say that this gang YSL or whatever was responsible for 75 to 85% of the crime in that area of of Georgia, and like that doesn't really make any sense to me because I'm like thinking like, so you're telling me that now 75 to 85% of the crime is gonna go down now that you locked up these 28 people like that? I don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think the DA was full of a lot of stuff, you know. So we'll see how. I mean, sometimes they do this stuff just to, I think, scare people and kind of like you know, it's more of like a let's get all the eyes on us and the public and let's try to make a statement and make an example of some you know some people. So we'll see how it goes. You know, obviously we're gonna find out a lot more. So this is just day one or day two of seeing the news. So it's definitely very interesting. And you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. I just think it's still early to call everything. I mean, they locked up. These dudes, have been locked up before. I know Young Thug has, and I know Gunna probably was probably in jail, maybe not prison, but I mean, it's definitely gonna be some reflection. And if they get off this, I definitely see some maturity, especially with Gunna more so. That's why I'm more surprised by him, even though Thug, they all live in Atlanta still. And I think that played a big part of, you feel me? I talk about this all the time, and RIP, the GOAT right behind me, man. It's a tough situation to be like, I want to do good for my hood. I want to stay in my hood and I want to create businesses, create opportunities for the people. But at the same time, I think being where you're from can hinder you. And we're seeing that in this case. If they're living in LA, like a lot of celebrities move to, or like, Jay-Z or whatever, these people move to get out of that atmosphere and change their behavior and their patterns of life and really focus on the music and focus on whatever else they're building. Rick Ross is from Miami, but he lives in Atlanta in the White House. He's focused. He ain't allowing dumb shit to get to him. Let me just be frank. DJ Khaled ain't really originally from Miami. He moved down there and he's a family man too. And everybody can talk about DJ Khaled being goofy and everything, but he's locked in. He's trying to be the greatest at whatever it is he's trying to do. And, you got to take some boundaries. And this, for me, looking at this, bro, it puts me in a perspective to let our audience know, and people that always want to be like these rappers, be like these celebrities, be like these athletes, bro, be your own self and learn from their lessons. You feel me? Like, for real, I ain't shunning on nobody being from the street, and you get it how you live. I have family. My own father sold drugs, and I come from that. But at some point in time, I'm first of all about to get over this hump of 20s and be in my 30s, and wisdom and maturity must come with that to do the right thing and not the wrong, and make a better life for me. And eventually, when I have kids, my kids. Like I was just listening to Breakfast Club the other day with Charlamagne and Envy, and they was talking about it. Like, I'm so appalled at this generation, our generation, and the ones above us a little bit, that we still have people being 35, 40-year-old gangsters and wanting to live that, or 45, 50-year-old gangsters, and think that shit is cool, or think it's like, you get praise points for that. Man, no one cares. In the world we live in, we trying to get money. And like I said, I ain't no Carlton, I ain't no rat, I ain't none of that. But what I'm saying is, let's focus on what we can do to get good money and shed light and not be on no criminal stuff. Like, these dudes got all this money. Young Thug and Gunna easily both probably have made over at least 25 million. At least for Young Thug, he might be close with endorsements and stuff, maybe taps 50. So it's like, with all this money, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna have operations to know about it. You know what this reminded me of a little bit was the Joe Paterno case. Like, these dudes might not really got their hands dirty, but they knew about it in some way.
Hmm.
You feel me? Like, Joe Paterno didn't obviously wasn't a weirdo like Sandusky, and didn't do nothing weird to them kids back in the day, but it was under his watch. You feel me? It's under you're under your power. You're the leader of it, and it's under you. And so you're going to be held accountable. And so I just hope, man, for the sake of the culture, that they do get released. And I hope they didn't really get their hands dirty. And I mean, I know I'm being biased, but you just said a funny fact too about what the DA said, if they take them off the street, 75%, 80% of the crimes will go down. But if you take Thug and Gunna out of the music industry for these next 10, 15 years, it'll look like Gucci all over again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think about it, Hilmar. Think about the great music that they have produced in the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a big deal. It is a big deal to talk about. And I
I
mean,
mean,
we'll
I
see,
think
like,
Young Thug is one of the biggest artists in the world.
for sure. And I know
Overseas, everywhere.
we see a lot of rappers and artists go to jail, you know, where I'm still waiting on what's my boy's name from New York? Can't even think of his name, but he been locked up for a while. ASAP just got locked up too. I don't even know if ASAP's out. What's my boy's name though
I think he's out.
uh from Brooklyn? What's bro's name? This is gonna irk me, but he been locked up for a minute. But you know, people go to jail here and there, bro, and it's like, but these two right here is gonna matter, bro. Gunna was just on. Now think about it from a perspective of this: the most high honored athlete right now, one of the LeBron James, just had Gunna on his shop talk. Now, how do you think Bron feels right now, as far as for business purposes and PR reasons?
Yeah. Yeah. There is. It's interesting. That's an interesting point because there's always um, that PR thing that comes back around with the people that you do business with. Now, yeah, I think Gunna, if if things settle and and Gunna's hands are clean, then it won't, none of that will matter. But it is interesting how there's blowback on who you choose to work with, in the industry. I mean, you look at Jay-Z, he
Mm-hmm.
did an album with R. Kelly. R. Kelly, you know what I mean, is in prison for sex trafficking, and
Yeah.
that's on Jay-Z's record.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean, but that's an interesting point. You know what I mean? You think about who you work with, and then same with Thug and Gunner. Like they need to think about who they have close to them, and who's working with them, and then what they're doing behind their back now, because now they got to always
Mm-hmm.
watch their back to make sure that there's no stuff going on that they don't know about. So
Just thought of his name, bro. Isn't it the rapper? Is it not Casanova? What's his name?
I
From New York. You got me blanking, bro. We're gonna get this. We're gonna put this in the YouTube
Stone.
detail. He just went to jail though. He was a blood, and I think 6ix9ine ratted on him. He was one of the guys 6ix9ine ratted on. It had to be Casanova. I think that's his name.
Yeah, I
But
think that was Casanova.
yeah, but yeah, this RICO case, man, it's just getting started, bro. It's obviously more stuff to be had, but like I said, they got good lawyers. This case is not going to go as long as I think, and which they should. They got a lot of money, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so let's do a mental health check. Let's just talk about some, if anything's been heavy on our minds in the last, recently, whatever, few days, something that's heavy on your mind that maybe you came to a conclusion on how to conclude those thoughts and how to move past them in a better way. Um, I can start. I've been thinking, this. So I'm like what I do with what I do for work is I trade. So I'm always involved in the stock market and watching stocks. And right, recently the market's been down, real bad. This has been the fourth worst start to a year in the stock market ever. Fourth worst start ever. Obviously we had a great year. The previous year we had one of the best years ever. So this was, now we're in a huge downturn, and you see a lot of people complaining about losing a lot of money. And so a lot of my thought processes lately, as I see a lot of people losing a lot of money, is I see them, tweeting and posting about, you know, taking a break from the stock market. A lot of like investors they're taking a break. I don't take a break from the stock market because I got to do it every day. But some people can take a break,
Mm-hmm.
and you see them, and they're talking about their families and what's most important to them, and basically that you know the most important things to them are right in front of their face, and it's like unconditional love from their family and stuff like that. So recently my mind has been heavy on that. Is just thinking about how, like, I mean, these I'm talking about people who are uber rich on Twitter, like, multi millionaires, and now they're, taking a break from the market, talking about their families. And I'm thinking, like, it's interesting because, like, when you're that rich and money isn't a problem, you can really
Mhm.
clear your mind, and you can really see that, like, I mean, what they're talking about is that, like, because they don't have to have financial worries, they can think about their family and that unconditional love that they have at home. And, it's like, it kind of makes you think, as a retail trader, as someone who's, trading options every day, and has the stress of money on my mind every day. It's kind of like, wow, like, okay, take a step back every once in a while. Think about what's the most important thing in life, because when you die, you can't take these stock options to the casket. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
When you die, it's all about who's going to bury you, and, who's going to cry about you, who's going to cry over you and remember you. So, I've been thinking about my family. I've been thinking a lot about, you know, I was with my buddy the other day, and we were talking about how life, there's like this long finish line, and it's so far ahead. It's so far. And, like, we live in a, big city where it's like you're trying to go to this finish line that's so far away, and no matter how far you go, it's always going to feel really far away because you're setting these goals, and this finish line is so, like, it's unreachable, and
Mhm.
it causes a lot of stress. And, I think even great entrepreneurs, and people who, really hustle, they always set a goal farther and further and further and further, and eventually, I think that no matter what, it weighs down on you, and there's a lot of stress.
Mhm.
So that kind of stress can be, life ruining. Because
Mhm.
if you spend all that time, all those years, every day stressing, you wasted so much time that you could have been focused on what's really important in life, and that unconditional love type of stuff. So, I just been thinking about taking time to, 6 8 hours a day, be locked in on work, but then when I'm off the clock, really take time
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
appreciate life, and appreciate,
Mhm.
what you got, and your loved ones, and, just to pet your dog, and look at your dog, and know that your dog loves you unconditionally. That's a gift. That's such a gift in so many
Yeah,
ways. So yeah, that's my mental health check for the week. What do you got, man?
man, that's big, man. I appreciate that. You know, this is like an AA meeting. You really don't speak much about a lot, so you being vulnerable is nice for the audience, man. For me, it's kind of similar. I think I always remember my mind of late. I always talk about to people about this. I think since I graduated college 3 years ago, right before the pandemic, and it's like going on 3 years. But yeah, man, like being in your mind daily, like I'm always in my mind now, like where it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing, but it's always worrying about, not worried, but thinking about this, thinking about that, thinking about whatever, and so it's a lot of stuff. And so for me of late, I'm good. You didn't really say what your check was though. I mean, what's the score? Let's answer those questions on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you at mentally?
Hmm.
Like right now,
Well, how am I
is life?
feeling?
Where you at with life? Is life good? Where is life at? One through
Yeah,
ten.
yeah, life is good. Like, I like doing what I was thinking about while I'm thinking about the things that are most important things, like the non-materialistic things.
Yeah.
Like, it's I feel like,
Well, just say period for the people. Like, where are you at? Number 1 through 10.
man, like,
Because people
I
like to know
try,
this.
like, I'll say this. Like, I think you want to strive to be at a 10. So, like, if you can strive to be at a 10, and clear your mind, and meditate and strive for 10, then you can always be kind of close to it, like around an 8 or 9 or whatever. So, I think, I'm feeling like today I'm feeling good. There's been some bad days. Like last week, I think my worst day was probably like, I might have been at like a 5. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Last week at one point. And I do have this scale mapped out correctly, because like a 1 would be like, I'm like borderline depressed. You know what I'm saying, right? Is
I
that
think a one would be like, I need some help. Like,
some
not
help?
even
Okay, I thought that would
depressed.
be like
Like,
a zero.
yeah, I don't even think a one would be. I think for me, depression is at 3 for me. If
Okay.
I'm sitting at a 3, that means I'm depressed. I'm down. Now, for real, being real, I've dealt with that. I've dealt with anxiety attacks. I've dealt with all type of stuff, and just being real. So that scale for me is a little bit different. I say right now, for me, where I'm at right now, I say a solid 7. I think I'm at a good point. I think the biggest thing for me is dealing with the stuff that I put on myself. I'm learning to, through going to church and speaking with my therapist and just speaking to God daily. I'm a big spiritual guy. Bro, I'm learning that the power within ourselves is so powerful. And people can, I'm a Christian. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I know other people have other beliefs and stuff, but the thought about the power within each other, like the power within yourself, is used universal. And when people really tap into believing in their self, I think it's a different ball game, bro. Like, I think it's crazy, bro. Like, understanding what I can really control, not just on a daily, but my behaviors that mount from weeks to months to years. And just more than that, like, bro, you can really, God gives us so much power through free will in our life, that if we understand how to use it to the right advantage, it's just like the red and the blue pill in the Matrix. That's what the Matrix was about, bro. And like, if you really learn how to use things for the good, the red and blue pill are just like the good fruit and the bad fruit when Adam and Eve ate from the bad fruit. So like, if you choose to eat from the good and learn how to use that and use your mind and use your free will to do good, bro, it's crazy. So that's where I'm at a part of my life, telling family no. I'm not gonna go in depth, but I have a lot of responsibilities and things going on right now with family and pressures of taking care of everybody. And I'm trying to get myself established and get off the ground, and trying to be able to, do things that I want to do, moves that I have planned coming up, and things and business moves and everything that I want to get going. And so right now, it's like you said, on one point, like when I'm done with work and I'm done worked out for the day, it's a relax. I'm gonna have me a beer, chill, bro, watch NBA playoffs, and relax and enjoy time with family, having conversations with my mom, having conversations with my little brother, friends, calling smack. You know, you need those necessary things because it brings you back into perspective. But my thing about where my mental is, and on a good point, is understanding that I can control everything in my life. Everything. I have affirmations I say every morning. I can control my thoughts. I can control my habits. I can control my behavior. I can control my presence. Presence means I can control who's in my presence, who's not in my presence. Like, I think we live in a generation where we are so self-conscious about being real with people, like
And being real with ourselves.
being real with ourselves first, and then being real, that leads to being real with people, like telling somebody F you, in the sense of, I don't need you, or I don't need to be around you. Like, you're not bringing no, positivity in my life. I posted it today on Instagram. I said, those people who are still with me are the ones who only matter. And that's real. I have love for everybody now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a hatred person, like really F you. No, I don't, like the world love thing. I love everybody. I do. I don't want to see nobody perish. I don't want to see nobody in any bad situation, not even my worst enemies. But I don't need to have bad vibes around me. I don't need to have people that ain't really, you feel me, rocking with me around. And I try to do better at that too, not being a fake friend or being somebody that's saying one thing and out the other. Now, if people, come to me and need advice, or people that are, I maybe used to kick it with, start to change their behaviors and where I'm at in life and where I'm trying to go, then I could rock with them. But it's just like the RICO case. Like I said, I'm not gonna be, if you doing that, I ain't got no problem you doing that. But I'm not doing that, so I'm not gonna be around you. But you can get down how you want to get down. But for my mind and my mental, if you ain't on the same page of where I'm at or where I'm trying to go, I'm not rocking with you anymore. And I think we get to a point, I always tell people, it's after 25, and it's really, to me right now, this gap from 28 to 30 is where you really start to change your this is where your foundation is built, on your mind and what you're going to really be and who you're going to really set yourself to be a part of. Because like I said, bro, if you're not hanging with people that are on your level or doing better than you, then you're doing something wrong. Because if you hang with people that's below you, they only gonna keep you on that level. You know, if you got people around that just want to kick it all day and ain't trying to get no money, ain't trying to, do anything, that can affect the mental. And so I think right now, bro, I just love being by myself too. Like we both, you know, we got friends, we hang out with homies, but a lot of our time outside of being with our family is being by ourselves, bro. And I love being by myself because I'm maturing as a grown man, where I love myself enough to kick it by myself. I don't need to be out, have a whole entourage, bro. I'm a lone wolf, nigga. I don't gotta travel with nobody. Ain't meaning I don't got love for my dogs and hang with my friends. I'm about to go kick it with Smack next week. We finna go turn up, but I can be by myself and be good, bro. And it feeds my mental for the good things, and it pours back. This life thing, bro, is an everyday battle. And that's why I say skip no steps every day, because every day you got to tell yourself the same thing, and you got to grow from the last day. So, bro, I'm at a 7 right now, but I really feel even better. I would say pushing closer to an 8. I wouldn't say 9 or 10, because that'd mean, I'm not really having a lot of problems, but I still got issues and things. I wish I had more money in the bank. I wish I was in a different place location wise right now. And, so everything ain't all gravy as it is. But if we get in there, you feel me? We get in there, and like you said, you strive to get to that 10. And I understand what you're saying. And so that's why I say it's 7,
And I
because
think there's also a correlation with the both of our mental health checks in the sense that like there is this like sense of like mental approval that we are finding.
yeah, oh yeah, it's everything is gonna be okay, bro. That's what you got to realize too. Like, if you believe in God too, and if you don't believe in God, I strive you to believe in God. I'm not, like I said, I don't not love people that are what's the word, agnostic or whatever, don't believe in God at all, or worship Buddha, whatever, all that. I'm not shunning nobody. I got a lot of brothers and sisters that are Muslim friends who I kick it with and break bread. Now their beliefs are different than mine, and I'm not against them. I got mad love for friends of mine that are believers of Muslims. I tell people I don't understand how people don't believe in God, because you didn't create yourself to be in this world. So how did you get here, and who created you? Do you think you just fell off the earth? Like you just fell and you just were born, and your mother birthed you with nobody creating you and knowing the purpose that we're living in now, bro? And what we're trying to, what you're talking about mental is really just finding why you're here on this earth. And it's a deep thing, Hilmar, that we can go in on the next episode, because I got time for all of this.
But
But
we
it's
only
all
got
connected, bro.
3 minutes left.
It's all
But
connected, bro.
it is, and
It's all connected,
I
bro.
want to
And
reference I want to just on what you said. I just want to reference um something that I actually wrote a while ago, but I wrote down alive is just a purpose. So that just kind of brought me back to that. I'm a writer, I'm a poet, I'm a rapper, I'm a showstopper, entrepreneur.
Witty.
This is brobro.com. Bro Talk. We had a great
Wait, man.
podcast.
You forgot real quick. You got to tell them the surprise, man.
Well, this surprise, nah, we only got 2 minutes. We don't have enough time for this
We'll
surprise.
save it. We'll save it.
We'll
We'll
save
save
it.
it.
Tune in next week.
Yeah,
You'll get the surprise.
yeah,
Hey, we got him.
yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
You
Appreciate
know it,
it.
man.
I'm Parlay Hunter.
Life of D Green. Neighbor. You see it.